Alright. What's up, everyone? This is Andrew, Nico. We're here with Dro Philathon again. Lower your standards, because it's all downhill from here. We're going to the Mababi. Is that a vampire? No, it's not. What do you have to say? Go to Solstheim.
So what do you want?
She's a spell sword. Does that mean there are things to conquer in here? Let's rest first.
It's kind of like what you are, right?
Oh shit! I forgot about this guy. For those who are unaware, this is the assassin who attacks you for entry into the Tribunal expansion. And I'm scared because he has done some damage to me. Oh, fuck. Did not mean for that to happen. Okay, now I'm definitely dead.
Isn't this the only way to get that armor? Or one of the best ways to get that armor?
Yeah, when you start the actual Tribunal quest, you get a whole ton of opportunities to have this armor, but until you actually go to the mainland, this is the best way. Okay, what can we do here? Trying to restore some fatigue. I'm sorry, lady, I accidentally attacked. Goodbye, cruel world.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
Dead soon.
I didn't even mean to attack her. This doesn't count.
Such is life and death.
Interesting to note, in the Xbox version of the game, the Dark Brotherhood attacks were delayed until you were level 6.
Huh.
I'm not really... It seems really arbitrary to remove that restriction on computer.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I don't know. They figured if you're part of the master race, you can handle it.
Quickly, Outlander.
This is really strange. Again, this is one of those places I don't think I've ever actually been to. It's apparently some sort of hideout for knights or something. Magicians. Interesting. Usually go into these types of caves thinking, oh, there's about to be, you know, a ton of skeletons and whatnot in here, but I guess not.
If I can help, I will. Don't take too much time.
So we're not
Care
dead.
to tell me what?
Just a bunch of friendly dudes.
Yeah, not something you see very often. Those who are wondering, the original map for The Elder Scrolls 3 is just this island in the center, but all this stuff on the side is actually Tamriel rebuilt, whose longtime goal, I believe, is to recreate the entire continent of Tamriel inside the Morrowind engine, which is really shooting for the stars. But so far, they've done 3 maps of the actual Morrowind mainland. Because Morrowind, as misleading as the title is, you're not actually on the Morrowind mainland when you're playing this game. You're actually on Vardenfell, which is the island that's in the center of the mainland. Basically, the mainland is like a U with water on the inside, except for the island. So it should really be called The Elder Scrolls 3 Vardenfell, but whatever.
Are the Tamriel rebuilt guys still working on it?
I haven't checked recently. If they are, I mean, power to them, that's pretty intense. But I can totally understand if the kind of motivation or whatever has dropped off over time.
I mean, yeah, it would be real dedication if they were still working on it. I mean, you've got all these, you know, all these more graphically, like, intense games that have come out since
Mm-hmm.
the other Elder Scrolls games are, I'm sure those engines are pretty enticing.
Yeah, and I mean, similar projects have come sprout up on Oblivion and Skyrim. Oblivion did a Morrowind port. They have the landmass of Morrowind, or again, I should say Vardenfell, in the Oblivion engine, which I've never actually played through. I tried to install it once, but it conflicted with some mods. And it was just a headache to deal with, but that'd be really interesting to visit. And then in Skyrim, they're working on Skywind, which obviously the portmanteau is Skyrim plus the Morrowind landmass. Which is really interesting because Bethesda gave us a lot of well, not us, like I'm making it, but people who, you know, could potentially make it. They gave them a lot of resources in the Dragonborn expansion, which takes you back to Solstheim. And I was talking to Nico about this earlier. I feel like the Dragonborn expansion is a lot of a wink to the old Morrowind players, because there's so many elements of Morrowind lore in Dragonborn. Like, basically the entire colony of Raven Rock is just a, you know, hats off to the House Redoran. And then on the eastern portion of the island you have Tel Naga, which is obviously a wink to House Telvanni. So, and I gotta say that they really nailed the atmosphere of Morrowind in that expansion.
Where are Morrowind and Skyrim in relationship timeline-wise?
I want to say 200 years. I might be off by 200 years. I know it's either, I'm pretty sure it's either 200 or 400. Because in the Morrowind timeline, Nerevar comes and, you know, defeats Daggerthur, and then it might be 100 years later is the Oblivion Crisis, and then 100 years later is the whole thing with the Dragonborn. I think. Lore people, please don't crucify me for that if I'm wrong. But that might be the case. I know because they speak of, in Dragonborn, the expansion, they speak of Red Mountain erupting, you know, in the Red Year, which I think is 200 years ago, and I think that coincides with Nerevar Reborn, I think. Again, I really have no authority on this.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, since the way they seem to handle time, like technology-wise and like all that, it's forever medieval. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of years doesn't really have that much impact. I mean, it's been, you know, swords and spears and whatever for like, what, thousands of years now.
Yeah. Except spears mysteriously disappear after
Yeah.
a certain era.
Yeah, they lose a couple weapons.
So we're coming up on Tel Fire right now. I'm actually surprised we made it this far without running into too many kerfuffles. But we're at Tel Fire right now, which is unique for having Divath Fire. Again, I'm probably butchering his name, but the old guy who wears an entire suit of Daedric armor minus the helm. And he's the only person in the game to do that. And the only way you can assemble another set is by basically going to the ends of the earth and finding the bits and pieces. Which I really enjoyed, because that's a total departure from the Oblivion mindset. In Oblivion, once you got to like level 25-ish, every bandit or every marauder was wielding Daedric. It was stupid because it totally took away the stigma of the armor. Daedric is this legendary, powerful thing, and it's like, oh, this schmuck Breton is wielding it. You know, where the hell did he get it?
Yeah, well, the leveling system in general on Oblivion was sort of bad. I mean, Yeah, it didn't really make sense. I see what they were trying to do. They were like trying to scale up the difficulty, but it broke a lot of the like why is everybody equipped with all this great stuff?
Yeah. And again, Skyrim was just like the fast travel aspect. Skyrim kind of struck a delicate balance because you can find Daedric stuff in Skyrim, but I don't think it's on people. It's like enchanted crap in a chest once in a while. Enchanted crap. But the best way to assemble a full set of Daedric is to smith it, which I can get behind because it's kind of like this concept of, you know, learning the craft of smithing Daedric, and like it fits in better with the lore, I think, than just, oh, well, here's level 25, everyone's wearing Daedric.
Yeah, I would like them to have more. They did a decent job in Skyrim of having like different artifacts that were unique that you could really only find if you like did specific things.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like more of that, like really like, yeah, like sets of like an entire set of armor where it's just like you have to find it.
Yeah.
That stuff's just really cool. I mean, little touches where, you know, most people aren't going to experience it, but if you're really dedicated and you really like search around, you can like find those little things.
Right. And that was like one of the stronger points of Morrowind, but then with Morrowind you have the issue of nothing is randomized, so when you learn the location of an item, for every new save you make, you know exactly where that item is. So you can like, you know, you can go and get it, and you know where it is. So if it's a powerful item, you can find a way to get it early in the game in Morrowind and gain a huge advantage. I mean, you can say that, oh, just use restraint, don't, you know, go after the big item, but, you know, is that reasonable to expect from players? I don't really think so. So, with Skyrim introduced the Radiant Quest, which is really one of the more interesting parts of the game, and it randomized a lot of the locations of things, and I think that really benefited it. What am I doing? Frostbite. Let's frost this sucker. I have a really good chance of casting the spell even with low fatigue, so that's good. And
It doesn't seem to be working though.
it costs a really low amount of magicka too.
Yeah, a lot of that old RPG.
Oh shit.
Where you can outright miss. Pointed right at him.
This guy again.
You will die.
Will we?
I swear if I fucking die now.
It's not looking good for you, man.
Ah, bitch. Bitch. I'm gonna take all this shit and swim to shore because I don't want to get eaten.
That was pretty close.
Yeah. Now I get all this nice stuff. Let's go with the greaves. Oh, by the way, my armor looks differently. My Dark Brotherhood armor looks different because of a mod I downloaded. Actually, it fits pretty well with the Khajiit.
Yeah.
It kind of looks magey, actually. That was a really weird enunciation of that phrase. Magey, actually. You fucking asshole! Oh, screw this. I'm just leaving. Bye. Oh, wait. They can attack in water. Goddamn.
Shit. That was so awkward.
Yeah, this is not the most ridiculous looking thing ever. Fuck. Help me, guard! Ah! Fuck!
Oh shit! No, you can't run any faster, huh?
You jackass.
What? How many do they send after you?
They send out an infinite amount until you talk to this guy about transport to Mournhold. So,
Oh, that's brutal.
and you get a certain amount, like a certain percentage chance of them attacking when you rest. So, like obviously that time I rested and he didn't come. So, I'm dumb.
Man. What if you're like new to this game and you don't know what you're supposed to do to get them to stop? Just fuck you.
I guess so.
Let's play out that.
Although that does speak to Morrowind's learning curve, which is very much like that. Kind of throws you into the world. Seda Neen, where you start, is like a pretty good starter place. The dungeons nearby aren't that difficult, but venture too far away and
Speak, traveler.
you might get cooked really easily if you have no idea what you're doing. Like, especially the path that I took. I'm surprised we didn't die more often. But now we're in a town and we're safe. So, yes,
Yeah.
safe. Anyway, the objective is to join House Telvanni, which I'm going to do quite soon. And again, this is only the second time I've ever done House Telvanni. Most of the time I do Redoran or Halalu. So I don't really know what I'm doing. Let's try this Night Eye. Oh, that's so nice.
So I've played a lot of Morrowind. I've quite a few hours in it, but I actually have not experienced that much of the content.
Speak,
Because I always
traveler.
just messed around in the big cities. So what are the houses exactly?
The houses are like clans of Dunmer. Like the 5 houses, Indral, Dress, Hilalu, Telvanni, and Redoran, all make up like the governing body of Morrowind. And in Morrowind itself, you only experience Telvanni, Hilalu, and Redoran, and each one focuses on specific subsets of. I have no idea where I'm going, by the way. Specific subsets of combat, magic, and stealth. Telvanni obviously is magic. Redoran is combat. Hilalu is stealth. And
Speak,
the kind of mood associated with each house is that Redoran are the noble warriors. They pride themselves on honor, that kind of thing. Hilalu are kind of in bed with the Empire. They're very friendly to the Imperial presence in Morrowind. And Telvanni just doesn't give a shit. Like, they prefer to be left alone. They don't like politics. And they just basically like being kept to their studies. And because of that, you see a lot of eccentric kind of personalities in House Telvanni, which we'll see throughout this playthrough. If I can figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go to join. Oh, I think I need levitate. Damn it. Let me double check. Oh yeah, right there. I knew we were gonna levitate spell.
So are the feelings of the houses? So are they like factions in this game? Like, do you see them outside of their houses, or are they pretty like?
Speak, traveler. I will listen out there.
They don't really interact with the houses, or do they not really interact with the world that much?
No, but I mean that's just the nature of Morrowind in general, because it lacked like the kind.
Yeah, like people wandering around.
Yeah.
So.
Stranger,
I mean, it's implied that
Sorry, stranger.
there.
My time is short, so
What
get
the
on it.
hell is going on here? It's implied that the houses have like conflict around the land. Like in some of the quests, you'll be asked to go basically sabotage another house's mission or something. So there is some conflict. It doesn't really feel as thorough as it probably should be, but it's implied that it's there.
So are they exclusive? You can only join one?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Through a glitch, you can join Redoran or Telvanni and Halalu, but
Go ahead.
technically you're not supposed to be allowed to.
This better be important.
That's also a thing in Morrowind. Sellers wear stuff that you sell them. Okay, now I need to find a levitate spell. You sell potions, don't you? Though I do need a mortar and pestle. Probably can't afford it right now. Oh, probably I can find levitate in the Mages Guild. Hopefully. Again, right now this shows you how unfamiliar I am with Sadrith Mora, which is the seat of House Redoran. And these weird looking buildings are actually fungal houses, basically. One of the arts of being a Telvanni master is to be able to cultivate these spores into, buildings.
What's this about?
That was something I really liked
What's
about
this
Morrowind,
about?
is that it didn't feel as traditional, like medieval fantasy, because it had these more like alien like cultures and structures and shapes and color palettes. It really wasn't like beholden to that, like just stone castles and fields.
Right. Yeah, that was what was kind of a shock when I played Oblivion was, this game had Nyx hounds and Kagooties and, ash vampires. Oblivion had like deer wandering around, and I'm like, so you skip the border and all these creatures just become
I'm
like
listening.
wildly fantasy?
I suppose it's my duty to help those less
Yeah,
fortunate
they
like
went
yourself.
they went back to that very traditional like feeling medieval setting for Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it was stunning, like how like well done it was. It was very like visually awesome, but in terms of like it was like graphically nice,
So what's this
but
regarding?
aesthetically just not as unique as Morrowind.
Mm-hmm. Oh, damn it. One of these people has a
Go
levitate
ahead,
spell, but it's
stranger.
1,300 gold, and I don't have that
Something
kind of
to
cash.
say to me?
Yeah, that's what kind of interests me about people who are playing the Dragonborn expansion of Skyrim for the first time.
Can we
Like, what is their reaction to seeing all that dumber stuff? People who have never played Morrowind before. What do they
Yeah, it
think?
might almost just seem out of place.
Any time now.
In Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls, I think in general, unless you play whoops, unless you pay close attention to like some of the dialogue, it doesn't really do a good job of educating you on the world outside of whatever province you happen to be in. So when I was playing Morrowind, I was like, oh, so the whole world must be made up of like, you know, giant crab shells, which is what the Redoran build their houses out of, and, you know, mushroom houses. That must be what the rest of the continent is like. Until you get to Cyrodiil and Oblivion, it's very traditional housing. Traditional as in traditional fantasy world kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
Speak, traveler.
I guess it makes sense that you wouldn't really know what the rest of the world's like in a medieval setting. News travels slower and people are more isolated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's believable that you wouldn't really know what the rest of the world's like.
Right. And I apologize for walking around a lot, but I seriously have no idea where to get a cheaper levitate spell.
Maybe you just gotta make some money.
Maybe. How do I do that?
I don't know.
I'm a busy gal, so if you could hurry this up.
This house is so spirally. The staircase, I should say.
Did Skyrim have a like social like likability
What do you want?
system? Or did they take that out? Because Morrowind has some sort, right?
Well, it's based on personality.
Oh, it's based on attribute.
Yeah.
And then, like, in Oblivion, they had that weird mini game.
Yeah. That weird minigame actually, I built a character who actually has speechcraft as one of his major skills, and I came to actually enjoy that minigame.
Yeah, I actually the mini game. It's actually not that hard. Like, it's really a 4-piece puzzle. Like, if you can determine beforehand how it's gonna turn, you can get anybody to like it.
Right.
It was a little bit strange, but artificial, but I don't know. I'm not sure I completely disliked it.
Nah.
Rest.
I also enjoyed the Oblivion lockpicking system a lot more than Skyrim's.
My
What
patience.
was the difference? I don't remember.
Skyrim was. Do you remember the Fallout lockpicking system? It was basically, you have the lock and you turn the lock and you turn the position of the lockpick
Oh yeah.
until you get the sweet spot. Oblivion was you nicked the tumblers up and down and waited for them to ascend slowly.
Yeah, I remember now.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
The Oblivion lockpicking actually was pretty interesting. Now that I think about it.
But I think we're right about 30 minutes, so we're gonna cut it short here. I'm gonna figure out where the hell I can get a levitate spell, or at least a levitate potion, so I can join the Telvanni, House Telvanni. Because all I need to do is just cross that little gap, it will be good. But until then, this is Drofilathon. I'll eventually get that name right, eventually. But peace out.
See ya.